In this video, I'm going to be showing you the easiest way to shift your weight in the downswing. You don't want to be seeing this in your golf swing, you want to be seeing this move instead take place to ensure that you're going to get this shift taking place all the way onto the lead side in your downswing to improve that accuracy, consistency, and more distance to your golf game. So for those of you who are new, welcome. My name is Harry. I'm a PGA Golf Professional down here from the Golf Projects, transforming golfers worldwide, one shot at a time. So make sure you drop a comment down below the tips or drills video topic you'd like me to cover next, and be sure to hit the subscribe button if you take these tips and drills on board in your own game. Now, the easiest way to shift your weight in the downswing simply comes from that first initial move that takes place from the backswing to downswing, so that transition phase of your golf swing. And a lot of us do think that we should be firing the hips to begin this downswing, and they are correct. Firing the hips is going to get your weight transferred onto this lead side of the body, getting this shift taking place in the downswing. However, due to something called ground reaction forces, we're going to end up leaning backwards and probably more likely as well early extending. And this all comes down to the way we shift our hip and try and get this shift taking place in the golf swing. So too many golfers I see that come and see me for lessons thinking, right, I need to fire this hip in the golf swing, I need to get this weight shifting onto the lead side of the body, the left side for right-handed players. They'll get to the top of the swing and they'll begin with trying to feel like their hip is going to be shifting and moving to the target. Now, the trouble with this here is, watch what this does to me if I do this in slow motion. I move my hip to target, it causes the club to come down on a steeper angle. So we're more likely to hit the ground first. And when we hit the ground first, or when we know we're more likely to hit the ground first, we jump out of our posture and early extend to try and stop this from taking place and get that centered strike. So not only is this stopping you from getting that accuracy, it's really making things difficult for you in terms of the strike as well. So rather than getting this hip firing towards the target like this here, getting this pressure early and then moving off the golf ball, okay, just like this here, we want to encourage the opposite. Now, the way to look at this here in simple terms is the word ground reaction forces and how they work in your golf swing. It's really important that we understand this before I bring in this drill that I'm going to introduce to you to help you get this weight really shifting in the downswing onto that lead side. Because when we get to the top of our swing in this position here, and we get this obviously hip moving forward quite early towards the target, we get this weight shifting onto the lead side. The pressure's being added in this direction here. Now, for every force acting in relation to where the ground is, will be always an equal and opposite force taking place. So for every stationary object, so the ground, there's always going to be an equal and opposite force taking place when we add pressure. A good example is when we do a jump, we have to squat down first before we jump up. So with this here, if we're getting this movement taking place, the pressure's coming into the ground in this direction here. So as we're trying to push upwards, okay, especially when we get that early extension, to stop us from getting those fat shots in our game, we're going to be pushing upwards like this. And look what's happened there. I've reversed backwards onto my trail side. So this isn't necessarily going to help you get this weight shifting forward at impact. It's certainly going to help you get the weight shifting forward to start the downswing, but not necessarily all the way through to hitting that golf ball. So instead, what we should be doing is trying to encourage more pressure taking place at the transition phase from this trail side. If the pressure is going to be moving in this direction and we're going to push away from this direction here, then we should be adding a little bit more pressure into this side. But the question is, how do we do this? Because if we can get the pressure moving this way, okay, we're going to more likely push off this way. And that's how we can get this weight transferred onto the lead side and to keep it on that lead side throughout impact and the rest of your golf swing as well. So to get this pressure, this weight shifting into the lead side of the body, you can use something as simple as this training aid, this tool I've got right here called the downshift board. Now I'm going to be demonstrating this using the downshift board, but you can try this without it. The downshift board just gives you a much better feel for where your weight is throughout your entire swing, especially when it comes to making practice swings without the golf club. So I'm just going to place this onto the floor like so with my feet either side. And you can see if I rock back and forth, it helps me develop this awareness of where the pressure is moving, where this weight is shifting in the golf swing here. Okay, going from the lead side to the trail side and so forth. So I'm going to be setting up just simply, okay, what you would usually do is set up 50-50. With this here, you're just going to set up with a little bit more weight, just applied onto the lead side of the body to begin with, so the left side for right-handed players. It's just that we can feel this turn taking place to make our way up, all the way up to the top of the swing. Now for me to do that there, what I've done is I've just allowed my right hip, okay, to turn towards the wall behind me, so it's effectively going away from the golf ball, but I've also allowed this right shoulder just to tilt upwards. You can see that my left shoulder's almost facing more towards the golf ball. So from here, I'm just allowing this right hip to twist towards the wall behind me and getting this right shoulder working upwards. Now you can see that I'm shifting ever so slightly behind the golf ball doing this, and that's okay. Obviously the pressure board, the downshift board here is encouraging more of this, but when it comes to making a few swings without it, you won't see as much of the shift taking place. You'll be very much over the golf ball, which is great. So hip moving back, right shoulder moving upwards to set ourselves at the top of the swing here. Now the first initial move I want you to make to begin this downswing here, imagine you've got a club in your hand and you're just getting ready to make this downswing. The first initial move is adding this pressure onto and continuing this pressure, into the trail side of the body. So we've applied this pressure, we're keeping the pressure in this position here. Now I've squatted quite a lot down, like so. I've squatted about 5 inches. When you come to making a few swings and shots doing this, you're only going to find it's going to be an inch or so of a drop. And a lot of the tall players have this move in their golf game. They get this squatting motion taking place, this pressure here, and then they unleash and unwind, moving onto the lead side of the body. And that's where this final part comes in with this. It's such a great drill this for you to give a try. So we're up to the top of the swing, applying the pressure. That initial transition phase has took place now, and then we're pushing back upwards onto the lead side of the body. Like I mentioned before, that little squat move, that squat jump, we're going down to go back up. So when we make this swing moving our way up to the top, we're turning up to the top, and then we're pressuring down, adding this pressure, and we're pushing back upwards like so. And I prefer to feel this pressure taking place from this point here, pushing back up from this right leg. Now the reason is, if I'm pushing back up from this right leg, I can't physically push that way. I always go in this direction here towards the target. So that's always going to encourage me to shift this weight in the downswing onto the lead side of the body, rather than getting this move here taking place, but then applying the pressure too early and then pushing back off and coming back onto the trail side of the body. So that right there is the drill I want you to be doing. Now, just before I show you the next bit and how to use this drill to your advantage with a golf club, I'd just like to introduce a new sponsor to the channel, GX Golf. GX Golf is a brand new golf glove manufacturer providing players, amateurs and pros alike with high premium quality Cabretta gloves for a fraction of the price in comparison to the rest of them on the market. So if you're sick and tired of spending so much money on premium golf gloves, I'd highly recommend checking them out and using my discount code Harry10 below. So how should this look when using a golf club? In fact, without the downshift board, you can get these, by the way, from Golf Swing Systems. You can use the discount code SURE5 to get yourself 5% off. I'll leave the link in the description below to take you straight to Golf Swing Systems to get yourself one of these as well. So how we use this with the golf club then. So in simple terms, we're just making that same action, of course, but I want you to be wary of this, because when it comes to making a few swings with this, it's going to feel really, really strange to begin with. We're going to make our backswing, of course, turning up to the top as normal. So the right hip is going to move backwards like so, as this right shoulder is just working upwards in the golf swing to help you set yourself on this 45-degree angle that we're after in the golf swing, getting this turn up to the top of the swing. But from this move here, when we get this pressure taking place, what am I doing with the rest of my body? Nothing. And this is what's so important for you to get correct. It's so important that when you get to the top of your backswing and get this transition taking place, you've got to just allow the body to stay nice and still. We don't want to encourage this turn to take place as we squat down. Now, the reason for this is as we encourage this turn to take place, a lot of us golfers out there struggle with mobility and flexibility. So when we get this hip turning round before we get this squat, so at the same time really, as opposed to before like this here, where's that club traveling in the downswing? The club's now traveling over the top. So we've got to try and fight this over the top move to hit some good golf shots, rather than just allowing the club to get to the top, then setting. As we're pressing down, we're just making sure that the club, the arms and the body stay exactly where they were from the top of the swing. We're just allowing this club to fall down just from us getting this pressure staying into the trail side of the body. And from here now, all we're just going to be doing is pushing back upwards like so. And you can see there, I've not really forced my hands and arms to do anything whatsoever in the golf swing. They're staying nice and relaxed. If we begin to start forcing things to take place, it becomes very difficult to get that control aspect and as well as the accuracy. So we're getting up to the top of the swing, getting this pressure here, and you can see I'm not moving anything whatsoever, and then I'm just allowing from this point here the club to simply fall towards the ball as I push upwards from this trail side. And when you start trying this, as you notice like I did then, it was very much so ground first before where the golf ball would have been. So it's really important that we push back upwards as well, nice and quickly. So we gain that height back in the practice swings and then get that center strike. Again, when you make full swings with a golf ball doing this, you're only going to drop that much, not the 5 inches that it feels like to you when you're making these practice swings and stages. So up to the top of the swing, squat, push up like so. And the feeling for me there with the club is just allowing that club to fall to the golf ball. You can make a couple of one-handed swings doing this, just getting yourself used to this as you make up your way up to the top. You're getting from here, squatting down, let go of the club and push upwards. And that's the feeling. You're allowing the club to just almost just let go in the golf swing. That's the movement, the feel that you want to be encouraging. No tension taking place in the arms. You're just allowing them to do what they should be doing in the golf swing. So bringing this all into one motion now, we're just getting up to the top, little squat, and then push up and through. Again, up to the top, push down, press down, push up and through like so. So I've got a 6-iron in my hand here. I'm just going to see how I get on doing this. So up to the top, getting this right hip moving back, right shoulder working up, pressure down, allow the club to fall as we're pushing back up and through to the target. So 6-iron, let's see. That was quite nice. A little bit pushed out to the right, left the face open a touch, but it was a really good strike. So I'll take that one as my first shot here at the golf projects this morning. So for those of you who have enjoyed the video and come this far, I'd highly recommend checking out this video over here, which is going to be talking to you in a little bit more detail about this movement, and will give you a recap from what we've just been speaking about. So be sure to hit the subscribe button if you're going to take these tips and drills on board in your game. And don't forget the downshift board you can check out in the link in the description below, and the golf gloves as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.